haere atu taku poi. I whai ana i ngā haere na nui o te tāne ko haki. I haere a haki nei, i atu i te kainga o te aroha. I runa ina awa me ngā mania, ki tamaki makaurau. Ka rere taku poi, i runa ina rarurui ki ngā whare a korani o oropi. E wirira taku poi i te hauera o ini toni hia. E nohora aiono, te hoa taua haki. E hoki taku poiri te tonu ki te maroro, ki te kainga tupu, ki whanga nui atara. He rangati rauta whai, titane rau, he kai houtu mariri, titane rau, he pekati toki e kore e whati. Ko mariri te wairua, ko kahara te mana.
Kia ora koutou. On behalf of Te Koki New Zealand School of Music, based at Victoria, it's my pleasure to welcome you here to the Hunter Council Chamber for this special evening. My name is Euan Murdoch, and I'm the recently appointed director of the school. Tonight is all about Jack. Jack Boddy was based at Victoria University for 3 decades and retired as associate professor in 2009. His research areas included composition, especially cross-cultural composition, New Zealand music studies, and ethnomusicology. He introduced the exotic sounds of Asia and the gamelan to Wellington and New Zealand audiences. He also masterminded countless performances, festivals, and cultural exchanges. He championed New Zealand music as editor of Waitiata Music Press, and so much more. Students, colleagues, and audiences continue and will continue to be inspired by Jack. His fearless originality, his entrepreneurial acumen have helped to establish a new musical paradigm in this country as part of the Asia Pacific. Now, I'd like to hand over to the publisher, Roger Steele, to take us through the evening. Thank you.
Patua, can you kill the phones, folks? The tui can sing the notes of a mobile phone, but the gamelan can't yet, so might get confused. Tēnā koe Euan, tēnā koe kōrero ko te koki, tuatai taku mihi ki a koe te kai karanga e mere, ka niu te tāhua o tō karanga tō waia te hoki no reira tēnā koe e hine. I reira o mātou whakaaro ki a haki, kei te hohi pere, e noho ana, o reira taku mihi porowaki hoki ki a koe e haki, hari I rungai tō mātou aroha, kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa paunamu te moana, te akere te kā rohi I mua I tō huarahi, no reira, te hoa noho oro mai, haere, tēnā koe, e haki. Our thoughts turn to Jack, of course, who's lying in the hospice out of Newtown. My blessing, my porowaki to him was that may the calm be widespread, may the seas be as smooth as pounamu greenstone, and may the light shimmer on the waves ahead of you, guiding your path. Jack knows we're having this event tonight. He's thrilled about it. His eyes sparkled yesterday to think about it. I offered to try and get a film of it to him live streamed. He wasn't up for that. He said that he will hear it on the music of the spheres. So he's with us tonight. Special welcome also tonight to many wonderful distinguished guests, especially His Excellency Jose Tavares, the Ambassador from Indonesia, and Mr. Tavares. Lovely to see you both here, and thank you for your support of the book. We're going to get into the business very soon. I'm not going to say very much about the book at all, except to say that it's a magnificent creation, if I say so myself. And it's all thanks to the inspiration, in the first instance, of Jennifer Shannon, who thought of the idea and who quickly got two of the most able people in New Zealand to help her on the book. And that is, of course, Dame Gillian Whitehead, tēnā koe te karawe, and Scylla Askew, all of whom were absolutely tireless in their work for the book, the rounding up the contributors, and who took no rounding up at all because everybody wanted to contribute. It was a joyous thing. It was hard to contain it, really. It's just an explosive book, and it's a tremendous credit to the scholarship, the knowledge, the connections, the networks of Jennifer and Gillian and Scylla, that the book is the triumphant, exciting piece that it is. Also, thank you very much to all the people who contributed through the Arts Foundation, the Boosted campaign, to make sure that it could have high production values. There'll be other thank yous to make later on, but that's just a few for now. The editors have done a really wonderful job on this book, and I take my hat off to them. When I say it's an exciting book, it really is. If you open it up, you'll see this not only it's a rich visual feast, it's a musical feast. It's actually got pieces of music in it, several of them, and we're going to get the program underway right away by hearing Adita Mack's Ecstasy for Jack, written for two bass clarinets, dedicated to my friend Jack Boddy for his 70th birthday. And we're going to hear Debbie Rawson and Krysta Martynes, who are going to perform this piece. Dita says of the piece, writing a duet, even for two similar instruments, normally demands contrapuntal writing, but in this case it is almost a complete unison with only slight ornamental deviations, always getting back to that smallest possible commonality. This was and still is an experience that infiltrated Jack's and my life, mostly via the gamelan. Didn't the gamelan do wonderful? Yeah, wasn't it glorious, that sound outside? Thank you very much to the gamelan orchestra. I should have mentioned it before. And Dita finishes off saying, and we both know which unique type of ecstatic energy may be created in such a playing situation. So we all look forward to hearing right now from Debbie and Krysta. Thank you very much. Thanks, Debbie and Krysta. That was wonderful. Jack would have not only heard that, but he would have felt it. Those vibrations were glorious. There's a very special extra event on the program, which is now just about to happen, and I can't say any more about it. I will ask Sir Eion Edgar to come and explain what's been happening just lately in his neck of the woods in the Arts Foundations. Sir Eion is, of course, a founding trustee of the Arts Foundation, which has been a tremendous supporter of all of the arts, and not least music. So welcome, Sir Eion Edgar.
Well, thank you, Roger, and thank those wonderful musicians. It was fantastic. Well, good evening. I'm, as said, Eion Edgar, and one of the founding trustees of the Arts Foundation. And also, along with my wife, Jan, I'm also patron to the Arts Foundation of New Zealand Icon Awards. I'm pleased to represent the Arts Foundation trustees today and bring apologies from the chair, Garth Galloway. Also like to acknowledge the 2014 awardee for patronage, Jack Richards, who's here tonight, a very deserving winner, and the laureates and governors who are represented here. You know several of them. But here, tonight, we're here to acknowledge Jack Body, who received an Arts Foundation Laureate Award in 2004. Laureates are practicing artists working and producing at their full power. If Jack had a power meter that went to 10, his reading would have been permanently at 20. He was amazingly resourceful, produced an amazing amount, and all of you people know a lot more, and if you don't, you should read this wonderful book that's been produced. Jack's work as a composer was prolific, as I said, and will be heard for generations to come. Turning to the Eion Award, this is limited to a living circle of 20 people. Recipients are artists whose work represents a legacy to the nation. They have made a significant impact on their chosen art form and continue to inspire others. Icons are world class. The Eion Awards are the Arts Foundation most prestigious award. The Arts Foundation has selected 3 recipients to be celebrated at Government House later this year. Each Eion Award recipient receives a medallion and a pin crafted by Euan Edgar, unfortunately not a relation. The medallion is returned to the Arts Foundation at the end of an Eikon's life to be presented to a future recipient. Medallions have been received by extraordinary New Zealand artists such as Janet Frame, Honi Tarawhera, Dame Kiri Te Sir Peter Jackson, and Dame Gillian Whitehead, to name a few. Visual artists, choreographers, filmmakers, writers, and many others have received awards. However, we have never announced a composer as a recipient. Getting you guessing. One of the inaugural recipients of the Eion Award was the late, great Ralph Hotary. Considered one of our greatest painters, Ralph Hotary was a collaborator with Jack Body on a work called Song Cycle. Images from the Song Cycle program feature in the inside covers of the book being launched tonight. In 2013, Mary McFarland, Ralph's widow, returned Ralph's medallion to the Arts Foundation. The medallion had been lovingly cared for, with Ralph's rubbing a substance into it to darken its patina. On Tuesday this week, Mary travelled from Port Chalmers to present the medallion to a brand new Eion recipient at a hospice in Newtown, Wellington. The recipient held up the medallion with pride and smiled his great smile. Ladies and gentlemen, I have enormous privilege of announcing the most recent recipient of the Arts Foundation of New Zealand Eion Award is Jack Body. I'm sure he hears you clapping now. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sir Euan. A couple of weeks ago, many of us had the great pleasure of being in the Adam concert room and hearing Jian Liu introducing the Lilburn centenary year, some glorious presentation of Lilburn's music. And tonight, we're extremely honoured to have Jian again. Jian is, of course, the head of piano studies here at the School of Music, and he is going to present these tributes to Jack from these wonderful musicians. Please welcome Jian Liu.
he begins also to destroy them. Adam has not yet named all of the creatures. But already he is destroying them. Who then will give them names? Tricolama equestre, Biciclus ignobilis, Nanopilema nomura, Mephitis mephitis, Nanoarchaeum equitans.
Fantastic, Jian. What a privilege to hear those four wonderful tributes, so different and some quiet, some forceful, but all of them exquisitely played. Thank you very, very much. It was just beautiful. Please let's join in thanks Jian one more time. All the pieces, of course, are in the book, or most of them anyway, and of course Jack has had the book for a month or so, and so he's gone over them very, very closely, so he knows all about those tributes. So, but wow, to hear them tonight, what a very, very special thing that is. Back to Jack's music. Tonight there's a lot of things happening. There's a book launch about to happen, but before we do that, there's also 2 CDs available for sale for $25 each, and Steve Garden from Rattle Records is going to tell you a little bit about the CDs. Steve, please.
Yeah, hi folks. So I'm Steve Garden, and it's my very great pleasure to be here tonight to to share this event with you, to celebrate our friend and the very wonderful Jack Body, of course. Just prior to the production master been finalised, I sent a copy of it to Jack so that he could check it out and approve it and all the rest of it. He'd heard it as we were working, but this was the final draft, so to speak. And I got a call from him a few days later, and he was really enthusiastic. It's terrific, he said. Really, really, really terrific. Love it, love it. He said, it's very entertaining. And it took me by surprise because, entertaining isn't a word that you'll find often on the Rattle website or in our booklets or in any of our sort of, media kits. Perhaps because for me, the word has connotations that are my problem. I don't know, but I was really grateful for Jack saying this because, of course, it is very much an entertaining set of compositions. It's a very entertaining album, and in a sense, to me, I think that Jack, for me at least, has kind of reclaimed the word. I think I can now think of the work that we do at Rattle as entertainment. Certainly, it's always been music that I've regarded as enjoyable and engaging, and now it's entertaining. So, anyway, it's an album that I'm very fond of, not only for the quality of compositions and for the breadth of them too, and the quality of the performances, but also it was another opportunity for me to work with Jack. We first worked together on Pulse back in the late 90s, which of course won the Best Classical Album of the Year in 2000, I believe. 2001, sorry. And I felt at the time, or in the sort of years that followed, I always felt that there was some unfinished business there. And I have to say, Gillian, I feel the same with you, that after we did EPU, we haven't really got together and worked on a project together, which we must. So when Jack came to us in 2012 and asked us if we'd be interested in doing the gamelan album Naga, I was very enthusiastic about it. And then again, I was thrilled when he got in touch with us and asked us if we wanted to put out Passing By, this collection of chamber music. It's if I have a regret, it's just that we didn't do more with Jack, but certainly the work that we have done, I'm extremely proud of. I like to think that it's music and albums that will be around and will give pleasure for quite some time to come. So we knew, of course, when we were working on Naga that Jack's illness had come back with something of a vengeance. But what's really impressed me about Jack is that in the years between, the last 2 or 3 years, he's really been something of an inspiration to me personally, just the extent to which he just digs in and works. I mean, he's been working at a near superhuman pace, it seems to me, certainly a heroic pace, to work on the projects that have consumed him over the last couple of years, particularly these 2 albums, which I'm here to tell you about. Passing By, of course, is our CD, but Atoll are releasing this album, Songs of Death and Desire, which I listened to just the other day, yesterday in fact. Wayne Laird, who has done, I think, quite a beautiful job producing this album, asked me to bring some down for this event, and so I spent an hour or so with it, and it's terrific. So it's sort of my job, of course, as the record company mogul here tonight to encourage you and compel you to buy many copies for yourselves and for your family. Yes, that's about it. But thank you very much, and our thoughts are with Jack. Cheers.
Thanks, Steve. They are beautifully produced CDs too, so they're a lovely addition to have here tonight, among the many treats that Jack is leaving for us. If Jennifer, Gillian and Silla were the kaiwhakatere, the navigators of the book, the backbone of the ship was wonderful series of interviews that Elizabeth Kerr did for Concert FM. Interviews, entertaining, well-researched interviews, but entertaining interviews accompanied by Jack's music. A marvellous series which were just too good not to reproduce in the book. And we've excerpted them right throughout the book, and they, in the different sections, and they introduce the other contributors' comments and own experiences of working with Jack. So it makes a marvellous backbone to the book. It's entertaining, it's delightful, and it's pure Jack. And we all know of course, of Elizabeth's wonderful work with the School of Music and Creative New Zealand and the Arts Foundation of New Zealand. So it's a tremendous honour that she has agreed tonight to launch the official Jack book. Elizabeth Kerr.
Ena mana, ena reo, ena iwi, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I'd like to say first, as Steve did at the end. Hello, Jack. I'd like to say first that all our thoughts this week have been with Jack and with Yono in the hospice. It was a wonderful ceremony that we had. This is lovely. Can we have a dialogue? I think you'll all join me in sending love to these two brave men who are just a little way along the road from us. It was a very special occasion on Tuesday, and I'm delighted that he was honoured in that way. But now to the book. There's something about Jack that makes us reach for metaphors. Last year, Helen Bowater said that encountering Jack was like being struck by lightning. And years ago, it occurred to me that Jack was like a juggler. He had a lot of balls in the air, and from time to time, others had to move in and catch some of them. And in this festschrift, Briar Prastete's exuberant mixing of metaphors has Jack as a wizard and a thesaurus and a conjurer on a magic carpet. John Sarthis calls him a guiding star, and Chris Watson has really served an ace with his profound analysis of Jack's tennis aesthetic. So in looking for a metaphor for this occasion, like Chris, I found it in the world of sport. Jack and his music, like Muhammad Ali in the boxing ring, float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. This is a man and a composer who's done everything with a wondrously light touch, like the brush of a butterfly wing. His work and his approach to life have the rainbow-coloured charm of a cloud of butterflies. And yet we are stung. So many of you here have been stung into going beyond what you expected, in contributing to Jack's extravagant visions and plans, in performing, in organising events, recording and publishing. Jack is, after all, completely irresistible. And the sting was not painful in the end. By falling in with Jack's plans or recreating his music, we've always become part of something wonderful. So when asked to write something for this festschrift, we picked up our pens or rushed to our keyboards gladly. Stories and images and feelings about Jack poured out. And now we have a book that's quite a bit heavier than a butterfly wing. When I took my copy home for the first time, and I was very lucky I got an advance copy, and I was able to visit Jack at home, and he wrote in it for me, so this is my treasure. I took my copy home and I stayed up way past midnight, fascinated and touched by the pictures of this unique man. Congratulations and thanks are due to the very hard-working, dedicated and very clever editors, Scylla Askew and Gillian Whitehead and Jennifer Shannon. And the editors are, as we all are, enormously grateful to Steele Roberts, particularly Roger and Sarah Bolland, who've been so supportive of this project. Thank you, Roger. For all of us who know Jack, this is a very sad time. So perhaps it's some comfort that this is a book that does him justice. It's generous in size and spirit, it glows, it's colourful and multifaceted, surprising, eloquent, full of joy and celebration. It makes us smile or laugh out loud, and in it we find the Jack we know, and sometimes a Jack we would like to know better. I'm very honoured to launch it tonight. Thank you.
Out at the Mary Potter Hospice a couple of days ago, Claire O'Leary, we were very indebted to her, recorded a brief message from Jack. Jack was trying to get in a minute ago, but now we'll hear from the man himself and then some of his music again. And the catering arrived at 7 o'clock, so there's not long to go, folks. Jack.
Hello, friends. Well, here I am in absentia at the party that nobody would want to miss. So I'm so sorry that you're there and I'm here, but we both know each other, where each other is. Now, first of all, my thanks to the editors who produced this extraordinary book. Jennifer, Scylla, and Gillian. And also to Roger and Sarah and Steele Roberts. As you might know, I was rather reluctant to say yes to this project. And I've kept out of it most of the time. And I've been fearful of the result. But as you can see, my friends, what a magnificent production this is. It's exceeded all expectations. And I know it's been a kind of an ascent of Everest for the editors. Having material come in, not knowing what it's going to be like, trying to put it into some sort of order. But not least, the production is spectacular, thanks to the imagery, to the photos that have been discovered. So all I can say is congratulations to the editors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that I hardly feel worthy of such an honour. But I'm pleased because I think the book will have an audience outside my fan club, and that it will actually interest a wider audience. On this occasion also, I'd like to thank Roger Steele Roberts for saying yes to this other little project of mine, a book of photographs, pure indulgence, a naughty indulgence, but there's my stomach. But to say it represents another side of me, and the gay side, and just to acknowledge here, of course, but also that we feel part of a gay family, so we all belong to families of various kinds. But also the launch of CDs. Steve Garden of Atoll, and again this was a kind of an indulgence. One CD of little pieces, which became 2 CDs, which included electroacoustic works, and it's a very nice mix. So thank you, Steve. And in Auckland, hopefully also a new CD from Atoll. Again, a very big project, songs of death and desire. And Wayne has gone far beyond what was needed to make this a magnificent production. So, again, welcome to my party, which I can't be at. Dear friends, my heart is with you.
Kia ora, Jack no Rumai. The waiata, thanks to Claire O'Leary for recording that wonderful statement. The little waiata, the kinahi which will accompany that piece, let us again welcome Jian Liu, who's going to play The Street Where I Live by Jack Body.
I live in Durham Street. That's third on the left, up Aro Street. As you drive up Aro Street, it's a hairpin bend to the left, and then almost immediately, a sharp turn to the right, up a drive to number 8. We've lived here for 25 years or more. It seemed expensive when I bought it, but it was the best buy of my life. A real home of our own. Of course, we've done a lot to it over the years and filled it with so much stuff. I hate the thought of ever having to shift. I hope when the time comes, I can die here, in my own home, buried in all my stuff. Years ago, I planted a kauri tree in the front garden. Now it's taller than the roof of the house. It'll still be there, of course, long after I've gone, and for that matter, even the house. Now this is interesting. In the street where I live, there are only even-numbered houses, no odd numbers. That's because there's a very steep bank on the other side of the street that can't be built on. And another thing, the top of Durham Street becomes Durham Crescent. Now, whose silly idea was that? We're forever getting mail intended for 8 Durham Crescent, and vice versa. What else is special about the street where I live? I'd have to say it's the birds. The birds, especially the tuis. Sometimes there's lots of them going at it even before the sun comes up. At times they're irritatingly repetitive. But lately we've noticed interesting variations in their songs. One bird periodically squawks like a seagull, very untui-like. Ay, 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 sometimes shows its age. Like me. But I do feel so lucky to have such a home in a valley, on the street, where I live.
Thank you, Jian. Thank you. That was a marvellously spirited performance by both of you. Thanks to all the performers tonight, the Gamelan Orchestra, Gamelan Padang Mongkar, to Debbie and Krysta, and to Jian, of course. It's been so outstanding tonight. The performances have really brought the occasion to life, all begun, of course, by Mere Boynton. So, magnificent evening of performance. Before I do a few other thank yous, I just mentioned I'm not here to sell extra product tonight. You've got enough with the book that Elizabeth has so graciously launched and the CDs, but we did manage to get also into Jack's hands, and to his enormous enjoyment, I have to say. It's at the binder as we speak, but this is this little book that he talked about in his speech, Friends Reflected, Photos by Jack Body. This is just one little mock-up which you're very welcome to look at tonight, and it's a range of his friends over his life that have made a deep impact on him, and some of his statuary and sculptures and so on that have really moved him. So it's a beautiful little book, and Jack was extraordinarily happy. I showed it to him the first time a couple of weeks ago, and he immediately thought of all his friends, and yesterday turned over every single page, and just to see the delight in his face, to know that the joy that these people and everybody, all his friends, as you've heard tonight, have brought him. And this little book, that we've just done 200 of them, it's going to sell for the same price, $40, and we will email everybody about it, but you're welcome to put your name down tonight, and we will be in touch. All we need is your name, we know how to find you. So if you want one of those, only 200 copies, that's all we'll be doing. Put your name down tonight or send us an email within the next day or so. $40, hardback book, 76 pages, not bad value. So I've thanked the performers tonight. I really want to thank the sponsors. I want to thank Jack Richards especially, tremendous contribution towards Jack Body's fulfillment of his dreams. The Arts Foundation has been so wonderful. And they also, of course, organised it. Simon organised it, and his team organised the Boosted campaign. So all the people who contributed to that, we really thank them. A special talofa lawa to Margarita, and everybody who contributed either through the Boosted campaign, and there were some people who contributed separately. So we've had wonderful support for this book. To the New Zealand School of Music, for everything they've done, especially Michael Norris and Fiona Steedman, who organised this event tonight. APRA has generously supplied the wine, which you're all about to enjoy, I hope. Again, Gamelan Padang Mongkar, just glorious performance. Everybody's music tonight has been lovely. And of course, finally to the editors, I just salute you, cannot salute you enough. Jennifer for conceiving the project, for Gillian and Scylla for their wonderful artistic leadership, musical leadership, and wonderful, tremendous organisational skills and communication skills. It's just a tribute to all of you, this book. And of course, it's a tribute to Jack, but it's a tribute to the very contributors in the book. Each item is just marvellous, and it just shines. There are so many, as Elizabeth said, it'll keep you up late. The pieces in the book are delightful and they're varied, and they're just a glorious tribute to a dear, dear man. So thank you to everybody who offered photographs and music and articles for the book and memories. That's it, I think. Gillian, have I forgotten anything else? Scylla? That's it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, finally. Without you, friends of Jack, friends of music, friends of the School of Music, friends of Wellington, it's wonderful to be here tonight this is a Wellington event, but we know Jack's music reverberates throughout the world. And it's lovely to see Jian Liu here but earlier on, and it's going to be a conference in China in November about Jack's music. And it's just going to go on and on and on. So it's a glorious thing. It's great to see you again, Your Excellency, the wonderful support you've given. Jack's very, very close to Indonesia, as we know, but China, Netherlands, Germany, America, the world. Jack's will be with us forever. E hoa mā, kati mō nainei, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Please join us next door to celebrate some more.